If you're a big swim team and you like to order a lot of gear, maybe you ought to check out Swim Outlet Team Division for these reasons. Swim teams receive a 10% discount on bulk orders. Swim teams or organizations get an 8% commission on referred sales. You'll also like their customization services, which is affordable and available at all times during the year for all team gear. With over 50,000 items in stock, you can get most anything you want. Swim Outlet Team Division. You need to try it out. You'll be glad you did.
This is the Morning Swim Show for Thursday, March 27th, 2014. I'm your host, Jeff Cummings. Today on the show, in the Finis Monitor, we'll be joined by a man who was picked by Fortune magazine as one of the top 50 leaders in the world. George Kennedy, the head swim coach at Johns Hopkins University, was on a list of great leaders that includes Pope Francis, Bill Clinton, and numerous CEOs. Just last week, he provided some great leadership to the Johns Hopkins swim teams at the Division III NCAA Championships, where the men's team finished 4th overall and the women were 3rd. He's back in Baltimore getting ready for the next season, and that's where Coach George Kennedy joins us on Skype. Coach, it's great to see you. How are you today?
I'm great, Jeff. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Congratulations all around. What an exciting weekend for you. I mean, if you could pick anything that you could say is going to be the most memorable for you, what would it be?
Probably among the most memorable parts of the weekend were that on Thursday, the same day that Fortune magazine had indicated to me that I was going to be on their list, our baseball coach, who I'm a great friend with here at Johns Hopkins, won his 1,000th game. And then later that evening, our team won 3 championships at the NCAA. So that's a good day. And, I can't have any day that I've had in terms of being a professional that has made me feel more, alive and really ready to keep this thing going. And so it's really a fun day.
Yeah, it was seems like a great day to be a part of Johns Hopkins University.
Definitely.
Well, let's talk about the NCAA championships. As I said, the men were 4th and the women were 5th. Did the teams exceed or meet your expectations?
We went into the meet, and both teams always have a goal of trying to reach their personal bests, and we feel that if each person takes care of their own personal best, does everything all year long, the process of getting there, then the meet's going to take care of itself. And to some extent it did. We had a few glitches on the men's side. I would call them more like hiccups. We had a couple of disqualifications, but overall to finish in the top 4 is a great experience. And our young guys on our team, we had 2 freshmen break school records, and that was significant. And the women, I thought it was just a fantastic meet for them from the team perspective in winning all 5 of the relays.
Yeah, those women winning all 5 of the relays, as you probably know from experience, is not an easy task. I mean, that's just something that takes a lot of effort, because it's not just the sprint relays, but that 800 free relays. So you've got to be very good across the board. What do you think was the key to making that relay success happen?
Well, I think all along there's great competition within our team, and each of the athletes knows that it's not just the top 4 kids in each event that are pushing for those spots. We probably have 5, 6, or 7, and those the 6th and 7th swimmers in each of the events really make the top swimmers even better. The other thing for us is we had one of our young ladies who was just on fire as an anchor swimmer, and she just doesn't like to lose, and she brought us from behind in 3 of the 5 relays on the anchor leg. So
well, good. You could start calling her the Jason Lezak of the Johns Hopkins University.
Right. We had a little bit of fun with that, and our team cheer near the end of the meet was the team is getting fired up for the relays, and all of a sudden the team cheer was "We have Anna, we have Anna," and the other teams couldn't say that, but she was marvelous on the end of our relays.
And also great in her individual events. You're talking about Anna Bogodovsky winning the 500, the 50, and the 200 freestyles. I mean, this really seemed like the meet where everything seemed to come together for her. What makes her such an exceptional swimmer besides being a great relay anchor?
Yeah, she from the first time she and I met, we connected. And I think before anyone can really be great, there has to be a super connection between the coaches and the athletes. And you don't always get that. But she buys into everything we do. And to me, that's the silver bullet in training and in excellence in sports. And so, she came in and she's improved every year. She just wants to be great in everything she does. She asks the right questions. And, I sit there and she can talk, so I listen, and so we have a really neat, unique, and really neat relationship.
That is great. I want to talk about the men's team for a minute here. They were just 1.5 points out of third place. I know that was probably very hard for them to take. Obviously, with the relay disqualification, that really hurt their ability to get third place. How do you, as a coach, continue to motivate those guys when they're sitting there trying to, get out of the doldrums of realizing that they got a relay DQ?
Well, I think the key thing to do there is to get them together as quickly as their personalities allow us to help them try to rebound. And with this group, they're really resilient. We're senior-led, and we met right after the prelim session where we were disqualified in that relay, and they tend to relate more and scream at them, but more if I kind of let them know that everything's going to be okay, but in a firm way. And so we just said to them that every team's going to have a hiccup in this meet. We got ours out of the way early, so we're going straight ahead now. And they did, and they rebounded well that evening, and then came back the next day. Really had as good a session as any of the teams.
The NCAA Division III Championships is a 4-day meet. Obviously it's hard on the swimmers to be able to swim all out 4 days. How do you as a coach keep your energy levels up? Because obviously you've got to be on your game for 8 sessions.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, we try to fool everybody that we seem fresh. We're not always fresh, but I tend to look at it as if I'm one of those athletes, I need to get my sleep. I need to hydrate properly. I need to be sure to eat properly. And one of the tough things at these meets is the finals finish at about 9 o'clock at night. And eating that late, I tend to try not to do that. So, I'm good with sleep. I love to sleep, and that's really helpful, I think. So I think sleep and nutrition and drinking the fluids is really important.
Well, Coach, from everything I've been hearing so far, you definitely deserve to be on this Fortune magazine's list of great leaders. I mean, it really takes a great one to be able to not only rally the troops, but to continue that energy forward through a great championships. Something on that profile that they said was your favorite 4 words are "we can do better." What can be done better next season?
Well, I think from my perspective, I usually take about a week after the championships and try to just get away from and have come to work a little bit late the last couple of days. I've been walking my dog, and it's important to get away from it. But when I come back next week, we'll be going, full throttle towards trying to be sure that we do a few things differently. Quite frankly, I think we can be better in our distance events. I think we can be better in the 200s of stroke. And I'm already in the process of making some contacts to some of the great coaches about what they're doing in those. And I'm a big believer in, if somebody has some success in doing something, give them a call. I'm not afraid to call anybody, and they might say, "Who are you?" But I'm not afraid to call anybody and ask them what they're doing, say with their 200-yard butterflyers and that kind of thing.
That's great.
The team was really special outside of the pool, and I'm not sure we can improve too much on that. They just took care of their bodies well with sleep, diet, rest, and we're not a big party team, and I think that that's really important too. So we want to keep some of those things still intact.
Ever since the list on Fortune magazine came out, have you found that you're more recognized, approached a little bit more? Everybody's trying to figure out what you're doing so good now?
I think somebody to some extent said, how'd you get on that list? and I don't know. I just feel that it's such an honor. It's really humbling. I think it's great for our sport. I think it's great for Johns Hopkins University. And I think the really neat thing for me is once that list came out, I sort of said to myself, now we better be good. We need to be good. We need to be great in the future. And I have been around, and probably one of the things that warms my heart the most is how many people have reached out with congratulations, from high school friends to kids I grew up with 50 years ago, to college swimmers, to colleagues in the sport, even to people at the Johns Hopkins University.
Yeah, I'm sure it's been a great feeling this past week. Another question for you, and it might put you on the spot a little bit. In your eyes, what makes you a good leader?
I think I think a lot of people who get older just get older, and I understand that as I get older, the maybe a little bit of the natural disconnect between my age and the athlete's age is going to prevent certain things from happening, or a certain closeness in many ways. And I think I'm able to accept that, but I'm not able to accept that I should have any less energy, or that our program needs to suffer just because I'm approaching my 60s. In fact, I think we want to get better. We just think we can get better all the time. And I think that's with that motto, we will. And so some of the changes I've implemented is that an example is our strength training coach is the strength training coach from North Baltimore Aquatic Club, and he's trained Michael Phelps before, and a sports psychologist has worked with the Orioles. I bounce stuff off the baseball coach who's won 1,000 games, and I think I have the world's best assistant coaches, and one who swam at Kenyon College, and where they won 53 national titles. And so I think I'm very much more confident in my own skin, more comfortable in my own skin, and not worrying too much about what people think of me, but maybe more it's about Hopkins swimming than just about George Kennedy.
Well, it definitely makes a lot of sense. Well, Coach, I know you got a lot of planning to do for next season already. Before we let you go, though, we're going to submit you to the final 5. These are 5 questions we ask our guests on the show. And the first question is, if you could change the order of strokes in the individual medley, how would you change it?
How would I change the strokes in the IM? I would basically let the swimmers swim them in any order they want to do it.
That would definitely make the whole race exciting, trying to figure out how all 8 are going to do it. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
Other than coaching, what's a career or job you would most like to try?
I love working with not only college athletes, but I love working with children. And I think when I retire at some point in time, I want to try to help make a difference in the lives of some young people who may not have the opportunities to swim, and maybe perhaps even try to start a swim program for the underprivileged children.
That's a great idea. Great idea. On the reverse side of that, what's a career or job you would not like to try?
I would not like to be an athletic director, because I know there are folks like me firing at them from down below, and then they hear from the deans and the presidents of the universities all the time. So I could not see myself as an athletic director.
That makes sense. What's a rule in the swimming rule book that you would like to change or add?
One rule that I would like to see changed back, and it's just my thinking, and it's totally different than, it's kind of off the wall, but I love the excitement when David Burkhoff could swim as far as he could underwater for the 100-yard backstroke. I think to me, it was like a Michael Jordan 360 slam dunk, and I think we we're getting more restrictive in the strokes as to how far people can swim underwater and that type of thing. So there's no one out there that agrees with me on that because they think it would be just an underwater kicking event, but it surely creates excitement for our sport.
Definitely would. All right. Last question for you, Coach. Where do you like to go most for vacation?
We rent a beautiful place up in New Hampshire, and I love the lakes, and we're going to continue to do that. And as I get older, my wife has indicated to me we're going to do a lot more traveling to other places too. So New Hampshire's the place where I love to go.
All right, and hopefully down the road you'll get some time. I know some coaches don't get a lot of time, but be able to see more of the country, not for swim meets, but just for your own personal pleasure.
Right.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for joining us today. Congratulations not only for the Fortune Magazine honor, but all the great things that happened last week at the NCAA Championships. We're already looking forward to next season.
Thanks a lot, Jeff. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. All right, so that's going to do it for this edition of the Morning Swim Show. To learn more about the other 49 people on Fortune Magazine's list of the top 50 leaders, go to swimmingworld.com, and we have the list there in the article mentioning George Kennedy's inclusion. I'm Jeff Cummings. Thanks for watching.